It's Cash Color Cannabis, a high level of conversation on livehiphopdaily.tv, and this episode is sponsored by Canvas Supply Company. Canvas Supply Company offers supply chain solutions for individuals and businesses looking to expand their production value into a new emerging hemp market. Canvas Supply Company is proud to be actively engaged in policy making and public education. Their focus is on supporting diversified, certified, organic, and transitional farmers that incorporate regenerative agricultural practices and have the capacity for scalable food-grade compliance with accountability. Please check out their website, Canvas Supply Company, right now, and follow them on Instagram at Canvas Supply Company. And also, Atlantis Clothing. Our Atlantis Signature, Drug Lord, and Return to Viper collections are all available for purchase, so please head to the website and shop today. And if you are watching from 9 p.m. to 12 p.m., we are having a sale courtesy of Cash Color Cannabis. So use Cash Color Cannabis promo code at checkout and save 10% off your order. All right, so after I got all that out the way, I got Liz and Naki in the building. Hey, y'all.
Hi.
So the funny part about this story is I've been familiar with these two for actually a few years now, and I think the first time I fully got familiar with you was through Creative Loafing, with friends of high places.
Yep. Yes.
And after I remember leaving the show and going through her episodes, I was more shocked that there's other people, let me see if they maybe want to be on the show. But at the time, we couldn't get you on the podcast. But right now, it's almost the perfect time for everything to happen. And now I got you two ladies in the building with us tonight.
We're glad to be here.
No problem, no problem. So thanks for coming out, one. And for those who don't know, can you briefly just introduce yourselves and tell us what you do?
I'm Naki, and we are Frankie and Marley Productions. We produce experiences that are cannabis based, whether it be like a private dining experience or mocktails or like a VR experience, anything that
No, that was good.
She had to ask the publicist.
I was like, doing great. Keep it up.
And this is Liz.
Hi, I'm Liz. And yeah, so Frankie and Marley is kind of like it's our baby.
Yeah.
And we just recently launched our website, frankieandmarley.com. And it gives like a detailed explanation of all the kinds of events that we can throw. And yeah, we're excited to be here.
Yeah, the website looks amazing, FYI.
That was all Naki.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That wasn't all me.
Okay, well, I did the writing. She did everything else.
Y'all have clearly been friends for a while. How long have you two been friends, and how long have you been working together?
So we met each other. It was my second year of college and her first year of college. So back in like 2003.
Oh.
And
we went back a little bit.
Yeah.
At this point, we have Little John and people wearing T-shirts down to their knees.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Kings of Crunk was definitely, I had like a bootleg Kings of Crunk album at that time.
So that was a while. So in 2003, you two kind of connected.
Mm-hmm. For the first time.
Yeah, and then, let's see, then she came into one of my job.
Yeah.
There was a bar back in Buckhead.
Where the shops of Buckhead are now.
Yeah,
It was like
where all the
old
bars
bar
used to be.
strip, yeah.
Yeah. So she came in, and then what? You ended up getting a job there?
Yep.
Okay, and then we ended up moving in together.
Time we worked together.
Yeah, we worked together.
And then we moved in together.
I guess you could say we were doing events.
Oh, y'all a TV show too.
And then we kind of went our own individual paths for a minute, and then we came back together like 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just hanging out a lot, doing fun stuff, and then Liz asked me to help her like with all of the food for her wedding, and it was
50 people.
And I was like, sure, girl.
You know 150 people?
Yeah, she knows a lot of people.
That's crazy.
I've lived here for a while, and then my husband's Cuban, so he has a lot of family.
I'm trying to think about the wedding I had and how many people my wife had to ignore, and I'm like 150 people. I would have left.
Right? He was nervous. I was excited. But yeah, I wanted the food to come from us because I wanted it to be an intimate experience, and maybe not everybody who was involved felt the same way, but I wanted it to be something that we could all do together. Yeah. Like, to me, it wasn't just like my wedding. It was like for everybody. And that's how I always think about my experiences. I'm really very key and thinking about how certain things are going to affect people, from the chair that you sit in to just the smell in the air. So we successfully cooked for 150 people, mm-hmm. and I put on the whole wedding, was a production. It was fun.
It was a production.
But it was like a backyard wedding. You know, it wasn't anything.
So
like,
were you one of the cool like wedding planners, or because you know they have the TV shows now, the people who are going through the weddings, and there's always a bridezilla. There you go.
No, I don't think so. Was it?
No, I don't think.
I
Yeah,
think
you
it
got
was
to ask
pretty
other
chill.
people.
Right. So yeah, I asked her. She was there the whole time.
Ask
Yeah,
other
no,
people.
I don't think you were. The only time that it might have came out was when her earrings broke for like the 3rd time, but I just hid it from her until we could get it fixed. And
That's
True.
You
That's
talking
a
about
good friend.
That's a friend. That's a friend
Yeah.
right there. So when I did first come in contact with you, you were actually, it was under the High Five Supper Club.
Yes.
It was under that title. How did we get to High Five Supper Club? Like, what inspired that?
So after we did the wedding, I'd watched this episode of like Chelsea does, and this one was Chelsea
Handler?
Chelsea Handler.
Chelsea does drugs.
And so she has, yeah.
it's a good episode. You should watch it.
Chelsea
It's funny.
But
she
what
does
she
all the
does
drugs.
is she has these people over and they do an infused cannabis meal. And like it's just like 5 comedians sitting at a table and they're filming them.
That's a cool idea.
During this experience. It's really cool. And so I was like, I want to do that. Like if we can cook for people, I was like, Naki is like a home trained chef. So like she's amazing. And I'm like, I can, help with the production stuff together. We can do this.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about. And we hosted our first event for 12 people in my living room. It was 5 courses. Yeah. And that was back in September 2018.
How many people came?
Cannot
Was it
believe
100?
it's
Was it
been that
150
long.
again?
No.
So no. So our
No.
first dinner was only 12 people.
Okay.
150 people at the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was cool. So for your first event, what did you serve?
We had
It was
my gosh.
scallops.
We had scallops with a cauliflower mash. I was the entree. I did a wedge salad, but we made like a homemade vegetarian ranch dressing. And if you've ever had like homemade ranch dressing, it's insanely good.
I'm a fan of blue cheese dressing. Like I feel like I'm the only person who
love
doesn't like
blue
ranch
cheese.
at all.
I love blue cheese.
Yeah, I don't even like it
Hate
with wings. Like I'm just not a ranch person, but I will try that if you ever made it. I would actually try it, but I'm not a big fan of ranch.
It doesn't taste like regular ranch, but it's really good.
Yeah.
As a ranch connoisseur.
You are a ranch
I
girl.
do love it though.
Now, was this your first time trying to infuse anything? Or was this something that was done
I
prior?
think we'd like done baked stuff like individually.
Okay.
So yeah, I had been doing some baked goods before that, which kind of is another thing that led me to asking Naki. And I just thought like, why wouldn't we just put this in in Naki's food?
But High Five Supper Club did last for a little while. Like you used to do things like, what was it? You did have yoga, and meditation events. You did other things. Like I've definitely seen you up and down my timeline for a little while now. What were some of the other events that you would put on?
So it's actually still going. It's just that Frankie and Marley is our parent company.
Okay.
And so like when we established High Five as a business, we thought about what we really wanted to do, and event production was it. So that's kind of like where Frankie and Marley came out. I'm sorry, what was your question again?
Oh no, that was it. I just want to know some of the events that you were doing under High Five Supper Club.
Yeah, so we did our private dinners, and like we would just sell tickets to that. And then we did a collaboration with My Abuela's. They're over by the Beltline, and they do Puerto Rican food. So we did this like mashup of a Puerto Rican Thanksgiving dinner with them. That was our last in-person event for High Five that we did before COVID. It was 26 people, and we did all these really amazing gift bags. Like a lot of local people donated and had their things in the gift bags. It was amazing. And then, you want to talk about the yoga event?
Yeah. So I think after we like did a few of the dinners, we were like, well, why don't we serve like little like baby bites and have like yoga, meditation, sound bath, and have like this really like chill kind of like healing experience. So we did that. We did an art event where people did a meditative like painting, and you had to like
Why does all that sound so soothing?
cover
It
up.
was.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like, the vibe we try to bring to people. It's like cannabis can be really calming and just like a soothing experience, and it kind of makes all that other stuff just that much more fun.
Yeah, I understand. So it sounds to me like you take first question before I even get to the next one. What made you want to jump into infusion and even play around in the cannabis space?
I've always been interested in cannabis for a long time now. I'm saying going on about 20 years. And when I was in school, I think I told you I went to school for journalism and I did PR. Like, I wanted to start, like one of our projects was to create a grassroots company, and mine was a cannabis company. And
She said, "You know why I'm here."
yeah, and like honestly, like that was really what I wanted to do, but I was worried about the stigma that I would get. Like, oh, if I jumped into the cannabis industry right out of college, like, what if I didn't want to be in anymore? And then did I really even know anybody? We live in Georgia, you know, so it was like I kind of would have had to move. So it's always been something that's a love of mine, and I you know, I think it has it's made my life a lot better. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's kind of just like a fun alternative to like going out and getting drunk. It's like
it's always been mine. I don't drink for the most part. Like, I have drank. I don't want to have somebody call me a liar. I have drank before, but I don't drink for the most part. If I do anything, it is consuming cannabis. You know, just being openly honest, it's consuming cannabis. I'm not a drinker, so I can totally understand your perspective of that. For me, it would almost be like having wine or going to a bar and being able to have something that I would want to do. I don't want to sit there and drink beer all day.
I know. I'm going up on 14 months of no alcohol, so it's been like I'm like, I want a mocktail with like cannabis in it, you know, like that to me is like my glass of wine. And like, you can get really creative with mocktails, which is something that we've been doing at our events as
You can get really creative with infusions, you know, like we've gone way past the days where it's just cookies and brownies at this point. You know, like we had a good friend of ours, Scott Lee Ennis, who was on Hell's Kitchen. He was on Hell's Kitchen season 5. Oh, cool. And Scott Lee, whenever he does do an infused dinner, it's amazing. Like, he puts together, again, 5 courses, and it's these desserts, and everything looks almost like it's on it was on the show. We are now at that point. So, you know, you actually you landed at the right time. Like, it's time for people to start seeing an elevated type of dinner experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there needs to be some kind of alternative. Like, you know, if you don't drink, like, I think it's really nice. Like, I think that there's one restaurant in LA that serves cannabis food, or they had just opened before.
I don't know
pandemic.
if they still do. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, is that a sad story?
I'm trying to think.
Did they close? It was right before the pandemic.
I had a chance to sample some of this stuff because when I was at MJ Biz in Vegas, they did a pop up. Oh, I don't know if they still exist though. The name is jumping out my head, but I don't know if they still exist anymore.
It was a really cool looking restaurant.
Lowell, yeah, it was part of Lowell. Lowell Company was part of it.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember the name, but it looked really cool, but it was weird still because you still had to have, like, it was only like a couple people could open there, you know, in this like certain district of LA, and there was always all these, you know, stipulations around all of that, making it super hard, but which is kind of like
especially when it comes to food, Yeah,
it's there's definitely like a lot of hoops to jump through. Yeah.
I remember when Arby's tried to roll out the CBD burger,
and I remember
people having such a heart attack over that because, you know, again, you just can't simply do certain things. Like, you need to have it in a certain area, even when it comes to dealing with food and dealing with the instruments that you're using to make the food. Is this going to be contaminating the other food? And I remember them rolling that out. I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea, but I'd try it. Right. I don't know if that's the best idea, but yeah, I would have took that on. So you have a new venture now. It's the Mystic District.
Yes.
Talk to us about Mystic District.
So that's this Saturday, actually.
Ooh, 420 weekend.
Yeah. Come and get your goodies.
Yeah.
From 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. It is an underground market with like a really cool vibe. We've got DJs, and it's hosted by Season Alexander, and we have like a scooper who's like a hula hooper that also skates around. And I kind of like to like describe
it sounded like Saturday Night Live, like we have a scooper. He skates and he roller skates at the same time.
That would be
and the way I kind of like to describe it to people is like it's vibey enough to like, you know, make you kind of like want to dance a little bit, but it's also like chill enough to where everybody feels like safe being in, you know, a place with other people.
That's so cool. So this is gonna be your the first Mystic District market you're doing.
It's not. It's our third.
Third, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We hosted one right before the pandemic.
So it was February. Like it was like Valentine's Day 2020.
Oh, that's cool.
That weekend.
Yeah.
And then our last one we hosted on Halloween.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be something cool happening here at Mystic District Market this weekend. And it was something I saw on your website, matter of fact, and I had a question about it, which was the virtual reality.
Yeah.
So speak to us about the VR meditation that's about to happen here.
So we are launching that at Mystic District. That's like first time we're ever doing it. It's a meditative experience where we're kind of trying to introduce like other senses while you're watching in this like virtual space and being kind of guided through a meditation, like smells and touch and we're gonna be spraying like a little bit of blessed sage water and running like air through the space.
Have you tried out the virtual reality? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She sounds like she did.
That's what I've been doing for like a week.
She's been prepping.
I've been practicing.
Oh, that's so
I've
awesome.
been searching like for the perfect one. I think I found it.
That's
the
so
Shroomscape.
Yeah, into that.
That is so awesome. So what actually made you come up with the concept of Mystic District Market? Like, where did that idea come from?
I remember I was sitting at my desk and I was like, Naki, I want to do like a witchy underground market. And she was like, okay. And so I found the name. There's actually like I think it's a place in Seattle that's called Mystic District. That's like a space there that's like kind of like occult, like sort of vibe. And I don't know, I've always been into like witchy things, I guess. Like I love tarot, I love meditation. I'm not like a spell person. I do feel like the magic is in you. But yeah, so I wanted to also have a way to help the art scene, because the art scene here is very near and dear to my heart, and I wanted it to be like house music, drag queens, like just real kind of like underground vibes.
This really keeps getting to be Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, yeah. There should be a whole episode about it. Honestly, yeah. But we're super excited. We have 38 vendors. We have 4 DJs, and then we have the drag show, the VR experience. There'll be like tarot
Live
readers.
painting.
Yeah, live painting. Our friend Robin's going to be painting. We have a raffle that we will be raffling off 6 different prizes, and $1 for every raffle ticket purchased goes to a local mutual aid project. They're called Tinder, and they help single moms sort of like living on that like verge of needing like just help with like diapers and bills and all that good stuff.
That's a good cause.
Yeah.
That is a good call. And, let's talk about the event itself. Like, you got, for one, there's 38 vendors. You got 4 DJs. This is a lot happening sensory wise. Like,
Yeah.
Tell me at some point somebody's gonna be able to mellow out. Like, is there gonna be an infused CBD products there, or what?
We have a couple of vendors that have CBD products, but I mean, you can also come get a meditation and totally disconnect for a moment, so you can go back out there.
Yeah, they'll be able to mellow.
That's freaking cool. Man. So it sounds like a very turned up rave.
It's like the chillest turns up event of the season.
Yeah. It reminds me of Stefan on Saturday Night Live. Have you seen that?
It is. It keeps getting more Saturday Night Live. We just keep adding more stuff. But the scooper did it for me.
Season. Does this a lot?
And this is happening this weekend. And then this is happening this weekend, correct?
Yes, at the basement. It starts at 8, goes till 2. Wear your mask. So, yeah, it'll be fun. It's indoor and outdoors.
You know, I hate to jump ahead of stuff, but this really sounds like a traveling event. Do you feel like this will ever move out of the market of Atlanta and possibly go other places?
I mean,
I
that would be
like
awesome.
to see us doing events in general.
Yeah.
Like in other places.
Somebody asked us, and we said, we love to travel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah, eventually, I think so. Like an event that I definitely draw some inspiration from is an event called, there's like a group called Incendia, and they have a New Year's Eve event, and they do this like pyrotechnics like show, and it's incredible.
It's awesome.
It's just amazing, and they go to different festivals and whatnot, and like they have these like domes that have fire in the top of them, and then they're just like operated by this gas thing like far away. And so it blows up, and then like fire goes all over underneath it. It's just incredible. And so like like seeing them like do that and get so creative with their events and just keep it like a vibe is it's just inspiring. So yeah, hopefully one day.
Yeah.
You know, and I know also we want to speak about Frankie and Marley. Like Frankie and Marley's website is official.
It's official.
It's official. So what can we expect of the Frankie and Marley website, and exactly what is Frankie and Marley?
So Frankie and Marley is the like event production company. That's the name of that. And Frankie's actually my cat, and Marley is her dog.
Yeah. They were like our first babies.
Yeah. And
Do they have any ownership of the brand? Like, have you
Oh
let
my
them know
God.
their names are being used?
And Marley would be fine with it.
Frankie's the
might
cat,
have a
so he's just
problem.
not even going to
True.
care.
I
He's
don't
going to
know.
be like, whatever.
He might have a problem with it. He's a little sassy.
So Frankie and Marley is basically the company, is the production company that you
Yes,
created.
it's the production company. So
It's the company that produces Mystic District and High Five Supper Club,
Yeah.
essentially.
So it's like our little umbrella guy, and then we have
Yeah.
our little babies underneath.
Cool. No, and it gives off a cool vibe. You know, it's like, you know, High Five Supper Club, just be, you know, it will give you an initial first thought of this is something that you might get high at. Where Frankie and Marley doesn't necessarily. It just comes off like a dope name for an event company.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We kind of like, when we were deciding to like register our business and everything, we were like, what should we call it? And I think Liz was just like, I don't know. Let's just call it Frankie and Marley.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's just do it. So it's fun that you like it.
You know, for people who are in the business of creating events and creating experiences for people, I know COVID must have been hard for you to deal with. You know, and I look at it often like the Avengers. Like we're in post snap mode right now. Like everybody's trying to just now get back into the feel of what they were used to doing. How did COVID affect, I guess, the business? Like, did it affect the business in any way? And how have you been able to kind of navigate through this new place that we have here?
Well, I know we actually were going to host a yoga event in this neighborhood, like
In the building next door.
yeah, and I was like literally holding on to that event to happen with like my dear life, and Liz was finally like, "You have to let it go,
Let
or
it
it's
go."
not going to happen."
Yeah. It was really sad, honestly. Like I had kind of just committed to making Frankie and Marley like my number one priority. And yeah.
Snap.
Yeah. It was just like
Thanos.
it was like Mystic. We were on such a high from that, and then it was devastating, honestly. Like the anxiety, the like not knowing, like, am I ever going to be able to even do what I love again? You know, because that's like my art. Like everybody has their art, and I love doing crafts and stuff. But like to me, like the event, that's my art. And so for me to think like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know what the world's going to be like. It was very stressful.
It was stressful for me. I mean, I remember having the feeling of, because we found out, we were ready to go to South by Southwest. It was the first time getting
Yeah.
an official media pass. We had an immediate pass for CashColorCannabis.
awesome.
That has never
That's-
happened for me before.
That's amazing.
So I was holding on like you was holding on. Like this is
like, yeah,
happening.
South by Southwest
There's
is
no way they'll
happening.
shut down a
Amazing.
whole festival. And then, you know, my
Yeah.
camera person said, hey, Mecca, check your email. And I was like,
They were like the first one to shut
They
down
were.
too, because it
I
was going to be so
remember.
international.
yeah,
like,
it broke my heart.
Yeah, that's what really made me like freak out. Honestly, I was like, oh no, I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah. So post snap, you know, post COVID. Well, I guess are we still post COVID? I guess we're still.
Yeah, we're like,
in COVID
getting there.
still.
Yeah. Atlanta's been post COVID since last April.
Yeah,
To be
here.
completely- But how have you been able to I guess adapt to the new normal? You know, there's still people who have to wear masks. Some people will, some people won't. Some people do want to be close in proximity. Some people don't. Like, how have you been able to navigate and be able to maintain through this new world?
So sorry, I keep playing with that. So I don't know. We want people to wear a mask at our event, right? We want people to be safe. We're not going to police people. Like, obviously, like, you do what you got to do. But we highly recommend it. We'll have somebody with a mask. And as far as, like, our private dinners go, instead of us selling, like, individual tickets, we welcome people to put a group together
Okay.
of their own friends. So that way it's not kind of, like, putting that on us.
That's cool.
You know, that's they
Which has been
probably
a fun thing to be
Yeah.
able to provide to people.
it's much
too,
easier for
you
us,
know?
honestly. Like, they are the ones gathering the people, and
Yeah.
we're just doing what we love to do. So instead of having to like market that and worry about if a ticket's going to sell or not, like, it's actually been a really nice transition. For the market, you know, like we're trying to space vendors out, and we'll have a really large area of indoor and outdoor. So I feel like anybody can really feel safe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You know, the basement's a cool venue.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's still standing.
Oh yeah, you know, COVID took down so many venues. You know, a lot of people just really couldn't maintain not being open. Like you really realize how much people were needed at that point.
Right, and now Graveyard's just like painted white.
Graveyard is not. Graveyard. R.I.P. Graveyard.
It was weird. Yeah, East Atlanta got a little weird.
Yeah.
During COVID.
I actually haven't really driven past the front of Graveyard that much because we have just, every time I'm in that area, we're just like going to the basement to talk to the venue people. And then I saw it for the first time the other day. And I was
really?
Like,
that's weird.
What?
The thing that creeped me out the most about COVID was coming downtown Atlanta and not seeing people. Because
right?
I was so used to seeing people, and it started looking like Walking Dead at one point. Like
no traffic freaked me out. Like freaked me out.
If you saw people outside, you were wondering what you were doing.
Right.
You know, at that point, because there's nothing open. There's no reason to be down here. My job told me to stay home.
It's like a dystopia.
Yeah.
Yeah, downtown, like, I mean, because, like, why? There's no, like, all it's hotels and businesses. Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that today when I was at the store. Honestly, I was thinking about, like, my husband had knee surgery right as the pandemic hit also. So, like, I had to, like, drop him off at the hospital and just, like, he had to go in and have knee surgery, you know, by himself. But anyway, so during his recovery, I had to be the one to, like, go out to, like, the store and, like, and our gloves and our mask and all this, like, crazy shit. And, like, now I'm just, like, walking in the store grabbing like, a cart or a basket, like, no big deal.
It feels like it was, like, 3 years ago.
It feels like it, but it wasn't. Like, even as you're talking about trying to get help for your husband, I remember at one point I was sick, and my wife was trying to get us some stuff through GoPuff, and we had Uber Eats. I remember the Uber Eats driver got out the car and literally almost threw the food at us. You know, like he had the mask on, he had everything. He just didn't want to be next to anybody. Just almost like threw the food at us. So yeah, people were freaking out. It was not that long ago, and I feel like I wish it was long ago. I wish we could be sitting back 3 years from now saying, remember when that happened.
Yeah, well, we will be.
Yeah, soon.
We're going to get there.
So, yeah, that's part of the goals, man. And speaking of goals, what are some of your goals as we move forward here? You know, 2021 is, we're in second quarter now, so we're moving through another year. You know, what's your plans for this year, and what's your plans going forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think, you know, like, what we want to see by the end of this year is maybe, like, booking more of like the private dinner experiences. Those have been really fun and successful for us to put on. We're going to launch the VR experience, and you know, we kind of want to move into a space where we're helping other cannabis brands kind of, you know, create experiences around their product. So if they're launching, I kind of feel like there's so much competition in the market. I think the best way for you to create that brand loyalty in the beginning is to, like, let somebody experience that.
Yes.
We want to help brands do that in the best way possible so they're off to a good start.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like ultimately where we want to sort of move everything into.
Yeah, by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're working on, it's a good one.
That's cool. Do you have plans, especially the PR in you? Have you thought about actually doing a show or taping something around some of the activities that you're doing and some of the events you're trying to create?
Yes, I know. Like, I think like we definitely need more content.
More content.
I know. I think we should just hire a photographer and videographer to come follow us around.
Oh my God.
I got
this
here.
This is the real world.
I got here and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to take videos. I'm as a PR person, I'm like the worst at getting content, but I think I do a pretty good job when it's planned. It's just more like when it's on the spot, like when we're in the moment and doing something, it's hard to remember, like, you know, oh, let's take a picture of this food, but like, because we're so excited to get it out.
Well, you're like working on something for the thing, but then you're like, how do I work on this and capture it at the same time?
Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I think it would be amazing. Like, I think Naki would, well, weren't you like a contestant for what
Master Chef.
She was a contestant.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I got to like the selection before they say, okay, we're going to fly you to LA. Like, I had to do a background check and all of this stuff, and then I didn't make it past that.
So you got like just a Hollywood ending, like like how American Idol. So you got the Hollywood, but you didn't get past that.
Yeah.
It was probably the background check. It wasn't your food.
The food was great. The background check was not. I don't know. Like,
I think that's what it was.
they accepted the food. They didn't accept whatever I have on my record.
Like she used to work with Black Widow. So that's awesome, man. I think you two have an amazing friendship that's turned into a really great business, and hopefully that. Well, I know that's going to keep going. Like, have you thought about what's it going to look like 5 years from now with Frankie and Marley? Like, would it be the ultimate like dream for you to have this in 5 years from now?
We'll have a team of people working with us,
Yeah.
so we don't have to do everything ourselves.
Yeah.
I want to have like this repertoire of like all kinds of diverse people that we work with, and uplifting, those who have been harmed by cannabis in general is very important to us. So being in a position to do that financially without, besides just saying it, like to be able to put our money behind that is to me like super success for 5 years. Consistently having events and, even maybe having other people run those events for us. So
that's everybody's dream.
Yeah.
Have somebody else be able to run the idea that I have.
Right.
Please.
And be like just as inspired and passionate. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To find a little, like, not, I don't say work family because that's bullshit, but
Yeah.
but
to be able to like find people that like align with our values and get it, and if we could help them find as much joy in like doing something like this as we do, and like giving them that space and opportunity, that'd be amazing.
That's cool. When you said work family, I don't know if you've seen a documentary about WeWork yet. When you said WeWork family, I immediately thought about them.
I haven't seen.
Is there a documentary?
Oh, it's on
I've
Hulu.
been meaning to watch it.
It's on Hulu. It's so good.
I'm gonna watch it.
Is it-
So why don't you tell me about it?
It was so good because one, I'm actually in the process of possibly looking for a space like that, and I always thought about WeWork because you see so many of them.
Because they're so heavily branded.
Yeah, but I also didn't know that they were going through such it was such a shit show going on behind the scenes of that. Oh, watch it when you get a chance.
Is their whole company in shambles?
Not no more. They had to get rid of the person who was the co-founder. Yeah, it was a lot, but I also thought that it was funny how highly he thought of himself and how
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, and somebody had to remind him, all you do is basically rent desk. Like you're not Jesus. You know what I mean? Like you're not Jesus. You rent desk space at the end of the day. But it's a good documentary. Check that out.
Like, y'all have a cute logo. I'll give y'all that.
Yeah.
They have good locations,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it was cute space. Like we looked at a few places for like my other job, but
they were drastically overvalued. Drastically.
it was expensive.
Overvalued. Drastically overvalued, and they learned that in the movie. They was overvaluing everything. Yeah.
there's a place like that in East Point, actually. Somebody in the neighborhood just bought like a local church. That's where I live, and so they have like a little share
Is it somebody
workspace.
that lives in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
that did it? I like that.
I think
Yeah.
I think
that's cool.
shared workspaces is the future. Like I think that's
Yeah.
really such a cool idea. It's another reason why I wanted to look around, even possibly at WeWork. Not no more, but maybe possibly at WeWork. But yeah, I think a co-working space is actually the future.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of businesses too are kind of shifting. Like they're not making everybody go into the office all the time. So it's nice for somebody that like needs to get out of the house and go somewhere else to be able to work remote and be productive. It gives you that space to do that and some like flexibility. So I like that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Liz and Naki, thank you for coming out. I know this has been a while, and I'm glad to finally have y'all on the show.
Thank you for accepting us.
Yeah.
We're so happy to be here.
So tell us again about Mystic District Market and how people can get tickets possibly.
So Mystic District Marketplace is this Saturday, April 17th at 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's at the Basement in East Atlanta. You can go to the Mystic District Market Instagram, that's the handle, at Mystic District Market, and just hit our link tree and you can purchase tickets there. They're $6.66. And
get a raffle ticket. They're $5.
yeah, you can buy a $5 raffle ticket, and $1 of that goes to Tender, a local mutual aid supporting single moms in Atlanta. So we'll hope to see you there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming out. I definitely support the event. I wish I can get out there. I think this weekend is going to be so busy for us. Like I feel like I'm pulled in so many directions. But definitely anybody else, make sure you get to Mystic District Market this weekend. It sounds like it's a super dope event. It actually sounds like one of them events you're going to end up talking about for a while.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot to talk about.
Well, fill me in. Definitely film it. Get somebody to film it.
I'm gonna get some.
Yeah.
We have somebody.
We
One
have
of
a
my friends is gonna
videographer.
come do social media, and we have a videographer and a photographer. So we have a content crew for this one.
All right. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah.
coming by the show. And please hang out with us for a second and vibe with us.
Love to.
No problem. And that's CashColorCannabis, a high level of conversation on LiveHipHopDaily.tv, sponsored by Canvas Supply Company and Atlanta Clothing.